What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Wednesday weather update for Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do weather updates for around the United States with all the latest weather happenings of things that are going on, such as severe weather, winter weather, wildfires, drought, tropical weather, and everything else in between. Want to stay informed with what's going on with the weather in the United States? Just subscribe to my channel down below. Give this a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And leave your comments down below. Alrighty, we do have a wildfire to talk about in Southern California, in Malibu. Yes, this is not good whatsoever. And this is a fire that is rapidly spreading out of control, and some celebrities, such as Cher and Dick Van Dyke, have had to leave their homes because this is a very serious fire that continues to grow in size. More than 1,500 firefighters are now on this fire. More than thousands of acres have burned with this fire, and only 7% of it is contained. This is a very serious situation, and more than 12,600 people are under evacuation orders. At least 7,500 structures are being potentially put at risk at this time. So yes, this is a really serious fire, and unfortunately, it may continue for some time, but as we head towards the weekend, things may get a little bit better. Hopefully, some of the precipitation from the north can get down to this area. Uncertain whether it will. It's going to be close. I'll show you the west coast in just a little bit. Talking about this now, a headline from the Weather Prediction Center. Lake effect snow is going to be a thing once again across many of the coastal areas of the Great Lakes, along the shore areas. Yes, places like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, maybe even portions of northern Michigan could be seeing snow once again. Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania, you could see potentially up to a foot of snow, maybe even higher amounts than that. You can see by the color code here, some places could see as high as 2 feet of snow, and you're seeing in western New York and upstate New York, yes, that's heavy snow there as well. So this is something we will have to keep our eyes on as we go into the weekend. All right, taking a look at what's going on with power outages. In the southeast U.S., there are more than 10,000 people without power in Florida. In Georgia, South Carolina, and even North Carolina is approaching 20,000. Ohio has 14,000 people without power. Pennsylvania has just about 3,200, Maryland 3,200, Virginia 7,400, and yes, those winds that caused the wildfires in Southern California are also responsible for 25,376 power outages as of the time of this recording. Now, additionally, in the east, we do note that there is a strong front that is moving through the east, and there is an area of low pressure developing along this. There have been areas of heavy rain along this front. Some of it has been snow on the backside, although not that much in the way of snow. And that front continues to push east. On the west coast, you can see here, if you look really close, there is a storm system out in the Pacific, and that is going to impact your weather over the next several days, even into early next week. Taking a look at what's going on here with the wind map, and check this out. This is really impressive. You can see, ahead of that front in the east, the winds are screaming out of the south. Look at these winds just blowing into coastal areas of New England. That is really impressive. And with these storms coming, that is going to bring some of this wind down to the surface. There is a thing called a low-level jet, and you can kind of see that on this map. When you get some heavier rain bands, that is going to really bring down the strong gusty winds. Places like Massachusetts, you could gust 50 miles per hour, maybe even 60 miles per hour with these winds, because the low-level jet above is actually currently experiencing much higher winds than that, and directly behind us front, temperatures will start to drop. We've had 60s here in Philadelphia today. That is going to change. Take a look at the winds over the Great Lakes. The winds are starting to blow across the lakes. What does that mean? Well, the lake effect snow machine is going to start up rather soon, and you can already see snow showers are starting to form. Here's the rainfall in the east. There is a squall line that is moving through with this storm system, and you can see it here across portions of Pennsylvania. that squall line will get more organized as it heads to the east, and there could be some isolated severe weather in the southeast. We also have to turn our attention to the west coast. Here's the very early stages of that next storm system, which is going to be a multi-day event. It is going to come in multiple waves and rounds of precipitation. There will also be mountain snows. There could be several feet of mountain snows that occur from this storm system. Right now, you're not seeing winter storm warnings or watches just yet, but I think as we get closer to the weekend, you will see that come into play. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories for portions of Michigan and even portions of northern Wisconsin as well. Flood watches, yes, flood watches are up for portions of New England, and even high wind warnings as winds could gust up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in portions of Maine. You heard me correctly there. That low level jet really means business. Lake effect snow warnings up for portions of New York State and probably soon for Northwest Pennsylvania. In fact, I think they are already up for Northwest Pennsylvania. Yes, Lake Erie, once again, is going to do its thing for Erie, Pennsylvania, and snowfall rates could go up to 2 inches per hour. This is expected through at least Thursday afternoon, and I think it could go right into Saturday morning. Before then, it will taper off as we head into the weekend. Gusts up to 45 miles per hour. They are going 12 to 18 inches of snowfall in this winter storm, or excuse me, lake effect snow warning. Once again, it could be cold tonight down in the southeast behind this front. Take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. There is the slight risk of severe weather across portions of South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, and also portions of Virginia as well. And as I'm saying that, the squall line has just come. I can hear it. The squall line is coming through here in Philadelphia right now as we speak. That's the squall that I've been talking about. And there have been a couple reports of severe wind, and two of them actually, one in Florida and one in Maryland as well. There is also, once again, an elevated fire risk across portions of Southern California, Los Angeles, and just to the east of San Diego is included in that. And yep, the winds are really gusting here now. Just had a 35 mile per hour wind gust. Wow. Taking a look at what's going on from the Weather Prediction Center, and you will see here that there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall today across portions of the Northeast. That's probably really just for the next 6 hours. As we get into the overnight hours, this storm system will quickly exit the picture, and directly behind us, temperatures are going to drop very fast. Taking a look at what's going on over the next 7 days, and we can see here, when we take a look at the fronts here, we will see that that front is going to clear the picture. But take a look over the Great Lakes. Those blues, that's the lake effect snow. There will also be some light snow across the Dakotas tonight into tomorrow morning. Nothing major expected there. But take a look here on the West Coast. Here comes what will be a long rotation event, and this will include Central California, such as the Bay Area of San Francisco and Oakland. And you can see here, mountain snows will be heavy straight on into the weekend. There may be a little bit of a lull late tomorrow night and the first thing Friday morning before another round does get going, and snowfall levels will probably rise a little bit, because you can see more green on this map. But then as we head into the day Saturday, they may once again drop again. And look at this on Monday. Oh yes, another storm system for the West Coast does come into play. And also, as we head into Saturday night, into Sunday, we will see a weak storm system, or with moisture, moving across the Midwest, portions of Texas, that will eventually make its way into the east. There is a little bit of model discrepancy on how that is going to play out, but look what happens next week. Yes, another storm system in the northwest, and places like Washington and Oregon, you may actually stay stormy for much of next week, but south of there, it will dry out. All right, moving on. Talking about rain, and we can see on the west coast, there's going to be some really significant rainfall amounts. Portions of Northern California, upwards of 5+ inches of rainfall, 2 to 4 inches for a lot of western Oregon and western Washington. And yeah, there could be even locally higher amounts there as well. You see right on the Oregon-California border, 5+ inches of rainfall for you as well. Anything you see in the Northeast, the majority of that is from today's storm system. And taking a look at what's going on in the central region, we can see from Texas on northeast up into portions of the Great Lakes, a general 1 to 2 inches of precipitation over the next 7 days. Some of that coming from a system this weekend. Drought update will come in tomorrow. Taking a look at the NAM here, we can see the storm system will clear in the northeast, but there will be some really heavy rainfall tonight across portions of Maine. Additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall is expected in that area. As I advance this, you can see the lake effect snow machine does start up much of the day on Thursday, and this does continue into parts of Friday, but by the time you head into Friday afternoon, that lake effect snow machine will shut off. It may keep going in New York for a little bit longer, but for the most part, the rest of the Great Lakes will pretty much taper off. Taking a look now at what's going on with the weekend system, and we do see there will be a little bit of a wintry aspect across portions of the upper Midwest. Some icing, some sleet, some light snow, and then just to the south of that, as we head into Missouri, it will change over to plain rain, and even the backside of the system could have a light wintry mix across Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. And this weak system will continue eastward, but what happens after that remains to be seen. We also do note, I'm going to reverse this, and I have to switch this to the Pacific Northwest. Here's that system on the west coast that comes in. You can see here, heavy rainfall for Northern California, mountain snows. There could be a couple feet of snow in some places. It would not be out of the question. And you can see just through the end of the NAM run, take a look at how much rainfall there is in Northern California. Yeah, that is widespread 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. And I do want to switch this to the West Coast view. Not much of that gets down to Los Angeles. I would like to see you get a good soaking to help with this wildfire situation, but I'm just not seeing it at this time. Taking a look at the further range, going out a little bit further now with the GFS, and you can see, even with the GFS, not much of that precipitation gets down to California, at least not as we head into the weekend. And as you can see, once again, just a few showers make it down to you. Here comes that weak system that comes into the east, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, there could be some light wintry mix with maybe some remaining cold air that comes from behind this front, because let me explain something. This front that's moving through in the east right now, once that moves through, it is going to be significantly colder. It is going to be raw, windy, and cold tomorrow in portions of the northeast. I mean, wind chills, yes, they're going back into the 20s and 30s. Much different from the 60s that we saw ahead of that front today in the northeast. Moving on into next week, we can see yet another disturbance does develop across portions of the Midwest, and this one could be a little bit stronger. Might even be some thunderstorms ahead of this. Wouldn't be out of the question. And we can see as that heads into the Great Lakes, it does bring in the warm air once again. No sustained cold air as we head into next week. And also as we head into next week, you can see extreme Pacific Northwest does still see some precipitation, but eventually that will shift further to the north. Let's take a look at the European model now as well. Cold front comes through in the east. Strong, gusty winds tomorrow, 30 to 40 mile per hour gust. Cold temperatures, it's going to be much different than today, but it doesn't last long. Already by Saturday, you will see here, as we head into Saturday, that cold air already moves out. See these red lines? That's warmer air getting ready to move in. I'll even show you the temperatures here. We can see as we head into Saturday, yes, there's still some cold air, but look at that. Sunday, Monday, it's already warming up, and maybe even a significant warm-up once again as we head Monday into Tuesday. Maybe highs in the 50s from New York City on southwestward. Florida, early next week, you could see 70s and 80s once again. That would be a nice reprieve for you, because you really do need a warm-up. It's been cold there for some time, and a lot of the winter people that migrated to the south are saying, I came down here to escape the cold. Well, guess what? You may actually get a warm-up, but you can see as I advance to Europe, in the longer range, it tries to bring some colder air down from portions of Canada into at least the northern plains and maybe even New England. But it's short-lived. It's these little bits and pieces. Maybe as we head towards Christmas, there could be a more significant round of cold air, and you can see that at the end of the European. That's something we are starting to watch. All right, Climate Prediction Center, 6 to 10 day temperature look to be above average for much of the country. No surprise there. There's no sustained cold air. Anything is short-lived in the east, and in the west coast, it's not really going to be below average. It's saying here below average precipitation, but if you look from Central California on northward, near normal to just slightly above average, and it continues to be slightly above average along the east coast. Some of those weak systems that will come through will have at least some precipitation. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Well above average temperatures being forecasted in the northern Rockies, near normal in the east, slightly below average in Florida, but I promise you will have some days with 70s and 80s. 8 to 14 day precipitation. It's not looking to be a very active period, but there will be some precipitable events along the East Coast and the Pacific Northwest, dry in between in the central portions of the United States. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Wednesday weather update. We'll have another weather update either tomorrow or Friday. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you're new, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.